Something touched me back. I really happened. I want to be clear about one thing before I start. I don't believe in ghosts. I never have. I don't believe in curses, demons, or anything supernatural. What happened to me doesn't fit into those categories anyway. That's part of why it still bothers me. This happened 3 years ago, during a winter I spent working temporary night jobs. One of them was overnight security at a small private medical archive building. The place stored old patient records, equipment no longer in use, and sealed rooms that hadn't been opened in decades. The building was quiet in a way that felt intentional. Thick walls, no windows on the lower floors. The lights were always dim, even when everything was technically on. My job was simple: walk the halls every hour, log anything unusual, and make sure no one entered unauthorized areas. Most nights, nothing happened, until the night I noticed the door. It was on the 3rd floor, at the end of a corridor I rarely walked down because there was no reason to. The door was unmarked, no room number, no sign, just a flat, gray metal door that blended into the wall so well I was convinced it hadn't been there before. I checked the floor map at the security desk. The corridor ended where I remembered it always had. No extra room. I assumed I was tired. The next night, the door was still there. This time, I stood in front of it longer than I should have. I didn't hear anything behind it. No hum of machines, no airflow, just silence. When I placed my hand on the handle, I noticed something strange. The metal wasn't cold. It was slightly warm, not hot, just warm enough to register. I pulled my hand back immediately. I remember laughing under my breath, telling myself the heating system must run through the wall. Still, I logged it. Unmarked door, unusual temperature. The 3rd night is when things changed. During my 3 a.m. round, the lights flickered only in that corridor. The rest of the floor stayed lit. The door was open a few inches. I stood there for a long time, debating whether to call it in. Every instinct I had told me not to go closer, but procedure mattered. So did not getting fired. I pushed the door open. Inside was a small room, concrete floor, no windows, no equipment, no files, nothing on the walls, just empty space. Except for the far wall, someone had left handprints there. Not painted, not dirty, pressed, as if someone had pushed their palms into soft material and held them there. I didn't touch them. I backed out, closed the door, and reported everything. Maintenance came the next morning. They told me there was no record of a room behind that wall. According to the blueprints, it was solid concrete. When I asked how the door existed, they couldn't answer. The door was gone the next night. No frame, no outline, just wall. I should have let it go. A week later, during another round, I felt something brush against my arm in that same corridor. Not a grab, not pressure, just the lightest contact, like someone testing whether I was real. I froze. Nothing was there. But the sensation stayed. Not on my skin, deeper, like my body remembered it. From that night on, it started happening more often. A touch on my shoulder, a brush against my back. Once, something pressed gently against my hand while I was logging notes at the desk. Always brief, always subtle, always followed by the same feeling, as if I had been noticed. I stopped sleeping properly. I started jumping at reflections. I felt watched even at home, especially in the dark, especially when my hands rested idle. The last night I worked there, the door came back. Same place, same warmth. This time, I didn't touch it. It touched me. Something pressed against the other side of the metal, slowly, carefully, matching the shape of my hand through the door, as if learning it. I felt pressure, heat, familiarity, and then a whisper, not in my ear, but inside my chest. Not words, recognition. I quit the next morning. Months later, I requested my employment records. The company responded with confusion. According to them, I had never been assigned to the 3rd floor. According to their system, that corridor didn't exist. Sometimes when I wake up at night, my hands feel warm, and I know whatever was behind that door didn't want me to open it. It wanted me to understand how it felt to be touched.